Yo, what's going on, people? Driven Dynamic here. I've got you guys today. I'm sitting inside a Honda Civic Type R FN2 series, the 2007 model. So this was the very first model that Honda actually made of the Type R, the new FN2. Well, the new FN2, I say. Obviously, before that, you had the much beloved EP3, which a lot of people do seem to say that was the better Honda Civic Type R. And then you had the EK9, obviously, which is legendary status. But yeah, a lot of people do say that the EP3 was the better car, given it was a lot lighter, a little bit more power as well. So they kind of went a little bit downhill. They added the torsion beam in the FN2. Kind of going downhill a little bit, but we're here to disprove that today. We're here to give this car a drive, show you what it actually is like to drive, the true dynamics of a car, given the name Driven Dynamic. So, how have I put the key? I got the key right here. As you go to put the key into the ignition, you're greeted with the beautiful pilot-like push to start. You know, a lot of people always talk about push to start in their whip. Honda was doing this in 2007. What more can I say? This is some fine engineering right here. We've got some lovely aircon in here. You're greeted with these really nice bucket seats here that you have. Type R bucket seats. What else is there to say? I mean, you get in the cockpit and you're like, wow, this is a very modern design. Everything to touch is quite nice. The steering wheel is really nice. You touch it, it's nice and it's kind of squishy. It's a little nice squishy wheel. It's small. It's good enough for spirited driving, I'd say. What else have we got in here? You've got these little cup holders as well. They make a little bit of a noise. Nice glove compartment as well. A little bit of storage here and there. So I would say it's definitely a lot more daily drivable than the EP3 Type R. Whereas that car was a little bit more unhinged. A lot of people love that car, but when you really think about it, if you want a car to daily drive, this is your car right here. So we're going to take you on a little bit of a spirited but informative drive. Obviously, we've got no LSD in here, so it's hard to say that the car pushes you out of the corner. It doesn't really pull you out of the corners like a car with an LSD would. But given that, you still have enough power. Once you got a little bit of zing from that VTEC kicking in. Once the VTEC kicks in, you start to feel, okay, this car's got a little bit of power to it. I would say a lot of people do say that this car is a little bit underpowered. There's not as much torque, which I do agree. The torque, especially going uphill, I don't really feel anything happening. It's not really until VTEC kicks in that you start to feel a bit of power. But the steering, man, it's so direct. I'll definitely say the steering is a very strong point of this car. It's not heavy, it's about 1,200 kilos. It's definitely enough power. It's singy. There's a little bit of body roll as well. This is a completely stock FN2 as well. A bit of body roll, but that can be fixed with coilovers and whatnot. It's a nice amount. It keeps the car planted, lets the car lean in, so you can corner the way you need to corner. again, these tires that the car's on, it's on 3 different tires. I don't know, whoever owned this car before me, it was owned by some old person, and I don't really think they cared about spirited driving. But this is definitely something. It lets you do what you need to do, that's all I can say. The steering is very direct, the car's small, so whenever you need to turn it, the rest of the car will respond with you, especially in the very tight, lower speed corners. You haven't got a long wheelbase, so the car lets you do what you need to do. It just follows. It's a lot of fun, man. This is a bundle of joy right here. And that's the thing, this car, you can drive it in such a way that, you know, if you just want to daily drive it and get to take your mum to church, you can do that. But if you also want to hit the mountains and have a little bit of fun, the car will let you do that as well. It's a perfect well-rounder. That's the thing, like, this car really lets you, if I want to drive it nice and smooth, the car's smooth enough. Or even on these bumpy roads, I just want to, you know, cruise at the regular highway speeds, I can do that just fine. The car will let me do that. It's not like an Integra or an EP3 where it's a little bit harsh. Everything's just a little bit, you know, a bit firmer. It's not really a car that you can just, you know, daily drive like that and, you know, have a lot of people in. This car, I feel like it's good enough. The AC works, everything's nice and comfortable. The interior is really nice to be in. It's one of those cars where you can just essentially just, you know, have anyone in it. It's a respectable car. I think if we had some semi-slicks or some high performance tires, we could probably go a lot quicker in those corners, but let's not make that risk. Anyway, this is going to be from here on out, I'll just do no more talking and I'll let the car do the rest. Steering wheel's great, everything's nice and direct. It's great. Obviously the tires aren't the best. I think it's also important to mention that this car does have almost 380,000 kilometers on the clock. And despite that, oh my god, this car is fantastic. Honda got it right. They really got it right. But it definitely was a bit of a downgrade, let's be real. But this was not the true Type R. Obviously you have the FD2, which was really the successor of the EP3. It really is it's a great car. It's singy. It's no EP3 for sure. But man, this car, as it is definitely the cheapest Type R that you can get your hands on, I would say that this is an excellent bang for buck performance car. You know, EP3s in Australia anyway, EP3s are starting to get to that, you know, $20,000 range, 25. I've even seen some for almost 30. Whereas this, I picked this up for under 10 grand. And I think the value for money is something that you're not going to get in an EP3. It's a great car, don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic car. But if you're budget conscious and you want something to have fun with, but also be able to daily drive, this is the way to go. I wouldn't see it any other way. You've got things like the Honda Accord Euro, another personal car of mine, which is absolutely fantastic and really dominates when you have the right mods for it. But out of the box, FN2, I would say is the way to go, 100%.